everybody. I don't know if anyone's here yet, but I'm just streaming to getting stuff ready. Just gonna pop out the chat, all that sort of lovely, all that sort of lovely stuff. Here we go. Got about 10 minutes or so before anything actually really starts. So I'm just gonna chill and make sure that, people can hear me, all that sort of stuff. Readjust my computer setup. One of these days I need to get like one of those arms that they have that you can maneuver your computer around a bit. Just because I have to pull it forward in order to draw, and then I just pop it back again. So. Hey, Ack, good to see you here. True, but maneuverability. I would love to not have to readjust my setup every time I want to use it for different things. Got lots of interesting things to draw this stream. Set. And then arm to stretch is a good idea. The back is not super pleased with me since I've been treating it rough. Hey Avery, good to see ya. Hey Frost. Good to see all the folks. How's everyone's week been? I've been doing alright myself. Just been getting stuff done, finishing up with the commission batch, and kind of like resetting after my trip last week, because I went on my trip kind of last minute, and so I didn't really prepare for my weekend after my trip, because usually I like to prepare some stuff for work that weekend because I work weekends. Like I'll make a big old meal and portion it out into a bunch of smaller meals to eat. But because I had been so focused on packing for my little camping trip, I ended up not doing that. And so last weekend was kind of scramble. I'm just trying to survive. But it's okay. I managed it. I made it through. And I am definitely not over-preparing for this weekend. I cooked up some nice, I'd say it's like beef stroganoff, but it's more just meat and pasta and green beans in a cream sauce type of deal. Just sort of all mixed together. I've made that up, and then I also went and got the ingredients for some to make some bulgogi pork, some pork bulgogi. So I'll have two main dish food options. Yep. I was very lucky to get a big old set of thin sliced pork. for pretty cheap, so that's what started that whole thing off. Yep. We got about 4 minutes now, so seems like you guys can all hear me fine, which is good. Yep. Just gotta wait a little bit before we start. Make sure that all the folks can get in. Bunch of PB&Js at the start of the week to do lunches. Not expensive in bags. But I find that there's some things that make sense to bulk prepare, and then there's some other things that like cost a bit more to bulk prepare. I do like bulk cooking if simply because it means I don't have to think about eating or what to eat. I can just be like, I have a couple of options, pick. Hey Corey. I panicked and submitted a basic line to our TFTG. Well, if it's what your heart wants, it's what your heart wants. You don't have to worry about being basic or anything. Yep. Cause it's like I already have so between night shift and all the other stuff that I have to do. Sometimes my brain just don't work. So having one less thing to think about, food wise, is perfect for me. Got about 2 minutes. Yeah, what is brain? I feel that. Oof. Sometimes it just is not a functioning organ. I'm now leaving Earth for no reason. Had a long couple of weeks. Sorry to hear that. Ack. I can sympathize. We got 1 more minute here, and then we'll start streaming and start getting ready to go. Oh, looking at my second timer, got 30 seconds. You're almost ready to roll. And 3, 2, 1, time to start. Welcome. Good to see everybody here, and I'm glad that you've joined me for our for the Patreon stream. Let's see how many fun sketches we can get done tonight, and we're just gonna roll right into it. See who our first victim is. So it looks like we have 16 options. Let me put this to individual, and we're gonna go ahead and spin our random picker wheel. Looks like we have 11. Our first person is number 11. So let's see who our lucky. Let's see who our lucky winner is. CeeLo. Nice. Looks like CeeLo wants a Sky Shaman TF immediate / immediate post TF, however you want to work it out. Okay, so I know CeeLo's ref by pretty well now, but I'll always go ahead and pull that up. That is not the number I wanted. Alright. Hit Control C, not Control V, and copy. Alright. Heh. Looks like let's see if I can try this one more time. Oh, wait, I see what's happened. I accidentally put 2 in there. Okay. Copied both. Okay. Fun. Just to make sure it's, anything aside from just sort of the basic form. Cute. And then, of course, gotta grab CeeLo's human form so we can have references between them. Yeah, there we go. Hey CeeLo, good to see you here. You got picked first off. Alrighty. So we're doing immediate post TF. Alrighty. I'm gonna put my references over here so I can start drawing. First things first, make sure my brush is drawing correctly. Opacity filter. Hey Zimian, I think that's a new username that I haven't seen before. Good to see you here. Okay. Now, when you say immediate post TF, I'm kind of envisioning this poor little shaman being stuck in some clothes. So, here's what I'm thinking. Let's get a little face in there. Doop. Oh, hi Arzer. Sorry, I am not great at figuring out new usernames sometimes. Just it's tricky. My brain does not compute. I think something like this would be good. And then have one half of the body sort of covered in shirt. That's what I'm thinking. That head is way out of proportion though. Let me scooch that down a bit. I think. Then, oh, whoops. I'm getting all spaghetti noodled. Something sort of like that is what I'm thinking. I think that'd be a cute idea. That is way big. Whoops. Still way big. Let's go ahead and turn this opacity down so I can do a cleaner sketch over top. Make sure I've got my Pokemon references over here. I'm also looking up like the official images so that I can reference that as well. Okay. Now, I will tell you guys that the one unfortunate thing about being the first to go is on this stream is that you end up kind of being the warm up. So I always feel like I get better as I go along on this stream. I do try to like make sure if I feel like I'm not super confident in it to like on like the first one to like go back to it when I'm doing the actual art. Like when I'm doing the actual inking, I try to make sure to go back to it and be like, okay, let's make sure that there's a lot of care put into this one. Because like I said, it's a bit, I always feel like I need a little bit of charging before I can really make it work. I'm gonna tilt the head a little bit, like confusion. Select, deselect. Gonna get in there, add some cute little puppy eyes, like. Make sure I do them in the Pokemon style. Hey Kenku, nice to see you here. Get this other eye in. It's sort of a nose bridge situation going on. And then, how do these head wings work? Because that's kind of what they are, I'm assuming, and that's why it's called sky form. Got like, hey. Well, it's good to see you here. They really do just like stand straight out from either side of the head. No folding back or nothing. Okay. I'm looking at the like official Pokemon reference images. I almost want to like start from this side. And then like 3 or so sort of feathery fans. Okay. Gotta sort of match the vibe. Scooch these in a little bit so that they're positioned more accurately on the head. Okay. Time to be a lazy artist and make the choice of copying and pasting to the other side and adjusting. Because that way things look more accurate. Whoop. Well, I've got to erase bits, of course, but like, let's merge this down. Whoop, whoop. Get rid of this little section right here and figure out the hair. Now, both Human Zelo and Sky Shaman have very, very pokey hair. So I'm gonna pull from both of that and gonna give that sort of like side lock that Zelo has in his art, in their art, and then lots of fun shapes all over. It gets kind of spaghetti-y up here because that's just how it is, unfortunately. I'm definitely in rather a spaghetti-y mood with some of the forms today. It's easier to fix it later than to fix it immediately, type of deal. And yeah, hee hee hee, pokey hair. Womp womp. There we go. I'm debating glasses, like maybe some glasses kind of balancing off the nose all caterwonk. But I'm not sure if that would block the expression too much. Something kind of like... Let me just double check how... Zelo draws their glasses. Yeah, sort of a trapezoidy type. And then have this one sort of unhooked. I think that looks pretty cute. Doesn't get in the way too much. Have that definitely have that oversized look happening, because that's the part of the fun bit. Let's add this curl back in, because it needed to be put back in there. Alright, then they kind of have no real neck. They just go straight into body. They have a little ruff that works as a neck thing, but they're kind of in a... They have the same sort of stylization as a chibi, where it's like not really a neck, it's just sort of a head plopped on top of a little body. In fact, I probably should make these shoulders a bit less prominent. Just sort of like that. Then the flower is... So there's sort of flower wing bandana thing. I'm looking at the official art, and it looks like it just goes the opposite of whatever way they're looking. Let me just double check some of the official sources. Okay. Looks like it's mostly on the right side. Hey, shapeshifter. Nice to see ya. These little neck floofs are on this side, sort of. And then the little I need to rotate a little bit just so I can draw these more effectively. There's that one, and then there's a little slightly bigger one. Oh well, looking at them, it's more like a butterfly wing in a way. Like you got the little small one on the bottom, but it doesn't quite reconnect it. It like goes sort of like that. See if that looks all right. I don't think it quite looks right. Like, it needs to be going backward more. In fact, the way that they're posed, it would probably kind of be hiding behind things. Not sure how to remedy that. I'm just gonna see about fudging it. How does it look like right behind them? Not great. That is a muddled up design when I do it like that. I'm gonna have them maybe be sort of tilted down. Okay. I think that sort of works. Like, I can imagine that the back of the human shirt is laying on top of them. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Let's put in this little chest area. Maybe make this a bit fluffier. And then their feet are a little bit less actually dog-like. They're more like a little flat paw with little nubbins. Little nubbins. Little paw nubbins. Hehehe, cute. I think I need to adjust just how big the bulk is, though. Like, give me a sec. Okay. So if that's our arm. That looks a little bit more in line. I think here's what I'm gonna do. So there's our arm sleeve. I'm gonna have still have one little nubbin hand poking out up here, but not coming through the sleeve hole. One little nubbin hand. Then put the rest of their body somewhere down here. And maybe a hint of a back paw back here. Now we can get to sort of detailing this mass of cloth around them. Not very well, of course, because, again, we're sketching. Sketching is nice and loose. Now let's put this other arm sleeve over here. Get some wibbly wobblies. Very technical term, wibbly wobblies. Get some shading. Some good, silly little reaction bits. Turn that layer off. I like it. I think it's looking good. What do you think, Zelo? That looking cute? That looking adorable? Oh wait, need to put the little boots on. You get your boots. And the little seeds. Glad you think it's adorable. Let's put your name on it. And then zoom on out a bit. And roll up our next victim. Getting rid of all the references. Done. Let me just double check we don't have any more. We do. We're now up to 17. Whop. All right. And here we go. Spin, 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 spin. Okay. Lucky number 15. Let's see who this new victim is. Hey, looks like it's Mr. Spiffy. Nice, nice. And they want the character in reference is working at a desk. Or not, I don't know. I don't normally see you draw furniture in these. Yeah, I kind of don't tend not to draw furniture in these. With various crystal and glowy bits. He does not realize his backside is on fire. Please keep this as visible as possible. I'd like to use this as a profile for the character. I'm gonna take a look because this might be a little bit too. Okay, I see what you're going for. I don't usually draw like a big full desk or anything like this in these. This unfortunately might be a little bit complicated. Let's see what I can do without getting too complex, because I do want to draw your character for you. I just am like not sure how complex I can get it with those parameters. Let's see, you said you wanted it as like a, what's it called? As an icon? Let me go ahead and see if I can make an icon version. Style, fixed ratio. I'm gonna put it in a 1x1 box, meaning, hi Spiffy, trying to figure out what to do with your image because unfortunately it might be a little complex, but I'm gonna try and make gonna go ahead and try and make a sort of icon version of it. So, gonna see what we can do. I'm cutting out a little like get this nice and big. All right, select. That way I know how big, the constraints of things. So let's see what we can do here. I'm thinking something like this. So we don't show like a whole desk, just maybe like some, fun little crystals, something he's writing on, then have him sort of hunched over the desk. And we can see sort of his body out this way. And obviously have his butt on fire. That's what I'm thinking. That's my basic idea. Just to keep it workable. Let's see if I can get this character designed. There we go, yeah, because having like a small prop or so is usually something I can manage in this sort of time limit. A full desk is pushing it, so we can go with a smaller thing. Let's put your arms up here. Well, you want a hand down here, scribbling away with intensity. Then some glowy crystal accents. I'm looking up the anatomy for these guys. Got sort of a double 8 sort of head. Where it's like one big circle, one smaller circle. Sort of dealio. And then get some horns going. It's like a double something like that. Okay. Get this littler eye back here. I'm just sort of doing a rough in of all the shapes. And there's a secondary set back here. And some little mouth pinchers. Looking at more of the anatomy notes. We got the body going down this way and then sort of looping around. I'm gonna adjust my layer up here, scooch over just a little bit because I tend to like end up not drawing in frame. Whoops. Whenever I make a frame, I always end up screwing it up and not drawing within the frame. Yep. Then I'm gonna take this tail, sort of have it flipping around in the air, like he's thinking about something, you know? Let's put this back, like sort of a line down the back to make sure it's designated as such. That's what I'm thinking. Well, looks like they've got sort of two spots up here. And then some sort of clothing item. And I'm assuming that in the clothing item is what's going to be on fire. So let's put the fire on it and get this tail going. Got a nice long whippy tail. Alright. Let's lower the opacity down and start drawing a more detail-oriented version. All right. Oh, let me make sure I save before I do anything. Because we do not want to get things to get lost. September stream, save. Okay. Alright, so this eye needs to be bigger than I've drawn it. And I've got sort of some shinies. So let's get them shinies in there. Doesn't look like they have like official eyeballs, like official eyelet. They've got very round eyes, but I want to make them look focused. So let's pull sort of a eyebrow out of eyelid out of nowhere. One big shiny, one small shiny. The small shiny should be somewhere else. That looks about right, I think. About right where shinies would be. And then alternate eye. Nice curve, because I got very fun sort of rounded snout design. And then little mandibles. I probably could have rounded this head more, but we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. I'm looking more at these references just because they're simple but detailed, which is tricky, you know? Simple but detailed can be tough. Okay. The back of their heads is a little square. A little squared off. And then this neck. Gonna kind of copy the official reference he gave me and have this one showing up like this, and then this bit more rounded on the head, and kind of want to have this follow off the face a bit more, off that chin line. Okay. Interesting head shape all around. Then do a little bit of the markings because you got some cute markings, some that go right up here, and got two little noses. Some little markings along here. Let's make sure I can sort of see that on the other side as well. It occurs to me that your character has a shirt that I haven't drawn. Looks like it's just sort of a basic collared shirt. So, I'll go with that. Then we really want to emphasize this sort of, sort of crunch. Emphasize the crunch and keep an eye on time. Okay, 3-fingered hands. How would you hold something with 3 finger hands? Probably. Sorry, I'm doing the dumb thing with my hand to try and figure out how you would hold something with just 3 fingers. And the way I'm having it, sort of rest it in between the first 2. So, pen go here. Pen of some sort. Just doing a little quill nib for funsies. Then this finger go under. This finger go over for direction. And this finger get curled up for, well, get put under for direction as well. Or at least that's how I was sort of holding it. It looks workable. Then referencing your lovely stick figure, which honestly I do enjoy when people have some sort of reference. Even stuff like this makes it work. Looks like this character has long sleeves, so let's put some long sleeves on him and get some sort of energy going. With that, because we want half of it, we kind of want to have 2 competing sources of, sources of inspo. I'm gonna actually put this like paper sort of curling. Let me just go ahead and whoop. Put a line in for the desk. Yes, a stick figure reference is always preferable to AI. Because by doing so, you are not feeding the AI machine. I'm going to put your other hand here, sort of like you're intensely focused on it. Get sort of a crumpled mess that is them crouched over their notes. And we put a crystal. 1, 2, Control Z. Crystal, crystal, crystal. More crystal. Shinies. Ooh. And put the paper down underneath with some squiggles. Let's continue the rest of this. And again, referencing our image, it looks like we have a sort of a longer back pad than what I initially put in there. So let's, first off, I'm gonna see if I can shove a foot here so that we can realize that that's a the back of the leg. How do these feet look? Answer dragony. Yeah, some toes. That way it looks a little bit more, and just a little bit more like in line with some anatomy. And putting that on. Adding in some flames. I might even take this tail and shoof it around this way a little bit so we can make it sort of fill out the space better. Yeah. Cleaning all that up a bit. You gotta make sure that things are readable. So we put this. When I ink this, I'm inking it so that this front bit has thicker lines than the back bit, and that is so that you can easily tell which is further and closer away. It doesn't read very well right now because I'm kind of doing it all in one fell swoop. Let me try and adjust this fire a little bit. And then I think got that in the background nice and small. But yeah. I'm kind of tempted to have him sticking his tongue out a little bit. Like. But I think in order for that to read well, it'd have to be open. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think that works. What do you think, Spiff? Does that look good? Got our concentrating, absent-minded professor. Although I am missing the little... I'm missing the little antennae. Well, some of them have antennae, some of them don't. Does this guy... It looks like this guy doesn't have antennae in your reference, but do you want them? I think some would be cute. Something like that, but doesn't have to be. I'm pretty happy with how this is coming about. I'm gonna sort of indicate some shading on that because it'll helps it read better. I'm gonna call it good. I don't know if Biff stepped out for a moment or not, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah. I'm glad you like it. Let's put a little, you put your name on it. And like I said, I'll ink it so it reads a little better. Okay. See who's up next. Gotta roll again, because you were number 15. Yep, you were number 15, so we gotta roll again. I swear to God. Okay, finally. So close. 14. Who's our lucky number 14? Mila! Looks like this is your... There we go. Looks like this is your picture. And we want a guy holding up an idol, looking at it curiously, not noticing himself being preg-TF'd into my OC. Okay, okay. Control V. Image. Okay, cutie. Cutie, cutie. Very fun. Ah, was there a human reference that didn't go? Or do you want a specific guy turning into your OC, or just a random guy? Okay. Get to make up a guy. Let's zoom in a bit. Fresh canvas, all that sort of jazz. And let's start with oops, wrong layer. Wrong layer, Kronk. Let's start with a pose. I think that probably a good pose would be somebody sort of, because it's holding an idol while not noticing that they're preg-TFing. So a good idea for that is to have him holding like sort of up to the light, I think, and inspecting. And then boop, boop. Something like that. And legs. Okay. All right, let's start by getting a body going. Now this character is very pear-shaped, so we'll have some expansion happening in the hips as well. Sorry, that's a bit low opacity. Should bring it up for everybody. then pulling up reference over here. Sort of a hand on a hip situation. Sort of definitely make some tight lines here because the guy's poor pants are having a hard time adjusting. Man. What I'm thinking is like maybe the upper half is mostly still human. Maybe like just a couple little tufts of cat ears starting out. But the bottom half is where the action's happening. Let's adjust the angle of that arm. Sort of like one of those little Venus of Willendorf figurines. But kitty-fied. Oh, nope, I'd be seeing thumb would be going the other way. And this would be the side with all the fingies. Fingy side. Okay, that's a good sort of base layer. All right. Let's go in for some face stuff. Am I making you too small? We'll double check that. Maybe a bit too small. Let me just make it bigger on another layer. Otherwise things are gonna look weird. Things get grainy at that size. Whoops, wrong way. Getting closer, yes, like that. Okay. And I'm just sort of like contemplating it, like, some ears that are becoming a little kitty-fied. I need to adjust the planes of the face there, because the way that pose is set up, it would not be looking like that. And bottom of the chin is a bit fur. Give him sort of floof hair. But not like ultra dramatic. Just sort of. I'm gonna change up that, where I put that mouth. That's better. Sort of hair falling back into his face a bit. Nah. I'm liking the way that the hairline is shaping up so far, but I'm not enjoying the, like, the head shape in general. That's what's feeling off. Should be something more like that. Let me zoom out. Sometimes I just get too close. It's not horrible. Again, something's off. Like, maybe a bit more floof to the hair? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Nope. Hairstyles are tricky. I think it needed a more pronounced, like, hairline. Okay. Not horrible, but also I'm not extremely happy with it. Maybe if I put this brow down a bit more. Yeah, that reads a bit better. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. Put in some quick shirt. Let's see if I can. He's holding up, so I'm sure it's going to be a little. The top's going to be falling down just a bit. And then is the belly too big? I'm not sure. Like, it might be a bit too big. Yeah, I think it's a little. Yeah, I like that. A little bit torpedo belly-y, but you know, sometimes that happens. Then let's have the fluff be like steadily creeping up on him. And sort of make this bottom edge fluffy and furry. Maybe a little kick. Yeah, a little kick. The pants hanging on for their goddamn life. Gonna add a couple of stress rips starting to happen already. Maybe the arm that's down here also is starting to get a bit furry. A little bit in between palms and fingies. And this character's got some cute little splotchy markings on the arms. Now, do I want to go with a tail? Or like, is that too far? So, Because as it is, it's kind of like this is the beginning of this TF. Okay, cute idea. Maybe he's wearing some shorts and like beginning of a tail is starting to fluff out of them. In which case these poor shorts are already having so much of a difficult time. I like that. Let's put this other bit of the short. Let's scooch that a little because we want to have it portraying a pair of shorts. Ah, gotcha. Then I think we'll go for one leg TF, one leg TF'd and one leg not, because that's always a fun look. Sort of gonna go for like a low digitigrade. So this character is supposed to be very soft looking, and it seems so. This could either be a low digitigrade or just her sort of standing stronger on one leg. Then I'm gonna put the human foot in a pair of sandals because sandals is easy. A great foot? No. But let's not focus on that. I'm making the ankles too big. Alright, let me zoom out, assess my damages. The foot in general is too small, because this one's supposed to be a little bit further out than that one. Yeah. That's what was throwing me off. There we go. That's a bit more copacetic. Alright. Gotta draw this other arm. Gonna make it like one of those little waving cats, but prego. I want to give it the smug cat face. You know? So give me just a sec while I do that. Hehehe. Yeah. Cute. Is his hand kind of jank? Yes, but I can fix it later. Preg beams. Okay. What do we think, Mila? Cute, cute? Alright. Let's put your name by it then. Oh, I'm gonna add a little more. Just a little more. And then Mila. Alrighty. Let's see who is next. Whop. Pulling this back over here. Done. Double check we don't have any new responses. Nope. And go ahead and spin. Alrighty. Now we're into the earlier half of the numbers. Let's see who was number 5. Number 5 was Kuji. Plant-like cat tar with fluffed pod arms. One arm first stops below the elbow, and the vines curl up her form. Okay. Let's take a look. Poor Kuji, I know that they're unfortunately on the wrong part of the world because it is 6 a.m. for them. Or so. Okay, okay. I think I can do it. Let's go ahead and put them over here. And go over onto this corner. That's just how it always is, you know? You end up being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So doesn't seem to be any. They didn't want him in any particular pose or anything. So we're just gonna go for it. Oops, wrong layer, of course. Back on the layer for bases. Cats. I love them, but they are tricky. Tricky critters. For whatever reason, they just are not. They've got too much weird skin. And that makes them hard to draw sometimes. Because, like, they tend to be very like, sorry, I'm not describing anything well at the moment, but like they've got a lot of loose skin, and that translates into like hard to find bone structure. So like if you draw a cat too bony, they end up looking more like a dog. They're very soft critters in more ways than one. So the fact that they're so liquid and soft makes them kind of tricky to draw, because there is a lot of muscle under there. And there's a lot of structure under there. It just is hard to make look convincing. Speaking of, let me pull up some cat references. Cat sitting. Emojis. Because, like, you see what I mean. Like, it kind of looks like a tube, but there's a lot of muscles under there that if you don't draw it right, it doesn't look right. But they're just so darn fluffy. Because, like, got sort of this shape. Almost sort of like a rounded lump. And then the foot under that. And then you've got drumstick upper leg down to the murder mittens. Then this other drumstick leg. Make sure it's drumsticky enough. Down to another murder mitten. And that's too small of a murder mitten. It needs to be a bit chunkier. All the while getting this floofing in. And this is chest floofing in. While that's arm floofing in. And this is leg floofing in. Then you got a two-tailed kitty. Just for reference again. And a fluffy two-tailed kitty, so let's add some base fur right here. And then, because we want to be able to see this split happening. Yeah, we want the split in view so people will know what's going on. Okay. General body shape seems rightish. Foof, 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 foof. And then I'm rereading this to make sure I'm not getting it wrong. One arm first stops before the elbow, and vines curl around her form. Not quite. I'm not quite sure if I'm parsing that right. But I'm gonna go for it the best I can because Kuji's not here. Because again, and I don't fault them for that. It's early morning for them. So we're just gonna work with what we have. And go for it. I will probably send Kuji a message about it, and so that I can adjust it before the so I can adjust poses and stuff before I ink things, because that's fair. Probably wouldn't do that if it was just a random person, but because because they're part of the Discord and we know them and have their Discord link. We want to be friendly. Want to make sure that they have that ability to take a look at things. Looks like there's some cute little flowers back here, so let's add those. And then add some of these. Probably just, I've gotten too detailed on this layer, so I'm just gonna bring it up to the up top layer. Whop. There we go. Yeah, these little vine refs. And put in some markings. Let's go ahead and add some paw markings here as well. I'm gonna add a couple of just random vines to add some detail here. Okay. I think that's detailed enough for the bottom half. I'm completely ignoring the top half. Whoops. Sometimes it happens with centaurs. You'll do a really good animal body, and then the human body just does not want to cooperate. You know? 'Tis frustrating. Get some good ears on. I need to make my brush a smaller brush. Focusing on a face. I don't want to make it look like she just, she sort of just noticed us. Yeah. Have an anime style nose. And then shape the face a bit more so it's less of a make sure that things are aligning. I think I need to move this nose and mouth combo over just a tad. Because, want her to be looking at us, but also slightly tilted. Less of a 3/4 view and more of like a 8/16 view, I guess. I don't know. Because it, looking for full on versus just slightly to the left. Let's put some hair in. It's got some long front bits. Let me put into ears on top of that. And then add the rest of the length. Looks like she's got a collar going on. Collar with a gem. And sort of like a hoodie situation. Yeah, like a cropped hoodie. That's what it looks like. So up here has got sort of the sleeves Like a top sleeve going on. Oh, I think I see what Kuji's meaning about, like, one arm first stops below the elbow and vines curl around her. Oh, well, okay. I think that's what because that's what I could see where the fur stops here, so it's kind of a imbalanced fur sleeve. Okay, I got that. I think I parsed it, guys. I think I parsed it. Hey, Kuji! Looks like you popped in just in time. You managed to get picked. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. We're mostly done, actually. How are you liking it so far? Aw, I'm glad you like it. Let me finish her up. Give her like one little paw on this side and another sort of half furred up hand. That's not a great hand. My brain is frying. Maybe I change the position. Adjust. Have this arm be the one that's sort of like dangling out here. That way we can sort of see the difference better. No, I'm not doing this correct. Okay. And all right. Arm. This arm would be about Why is my brain not working? Okay. That sort of works, I think. Proportions as being funky at the moment, but I think that I can clean that. I can clean this up in post. I can definitely clean this up in post. Make her a bit less messy. Yep, for this bit, the fur reaches just about the elbow and then stops. What I'm seeing in the picture. Putting that color differentiation in. And I think only thing, other stuff I gotta do is some markings on the face, which look like you've got 2 eye triangles and then cheek triangles. There we go. And some hair bits, hair flowers. Let's raise a touch up here so that I have some space to put some in. I'm gonna make the hair a little more voluminous. Then I think let's add a couple more little leaf decorations in the hair. Make this a little bit more close to the neck. Drew it a bit long. Okay. All right. I think I've got it ready to go. Or actually, let me give her some cute little eyelashes. Then, now I think we're ready to go. What do you think, Kuji? Glad you woke up? Let's make sure I'm adding a white tip to these tails behind here. Glad you like it. Alrighty. Let's take a quick look at all the stuff we've done so far. Turn off our bottom layer, merge this down. Got some good work going on. Okay. Let's see who is next. Whop. Done. Double check. And nope. Spin. Okay, number 8. Who is number 8? Okay. Looks like it's Major Mooch. And it says, with the fall coming in, let's do a piece of my bunny girl Lucy, getting all floofy with extra fur going in with the cooler weather. Happy giving creative freedom on that kind of idea. Nice. That's a cute idea. That's a cute idea. Let's get some reference images. Okay. She looks like a pretty summery bun in that one. Also in that one. Okay, that's a fun reference. Thank you, Mooch. That was a good laugh in between. Alrighty. Okay, lots of options. So I'm going to put her over here on the side. And we can get going with some cute fall weather fashion, I think. I think I can fit her right here in between these two. Maybe not. But we'll try. Let's start with just a nice pose. Sort of want like a cute flowy pose. This is not a great. Yeah. Good. I sort of want to like almost a floating effect. Like, I want one leg sort of down like that. And the other one yeah, and the other one sort of curved behind it. Kind of pin-up girly. Make that more of a rabbit foot. Want that tail extra floof. And I am gonna have to move them. Yeah, I thought I could manage. Put them down here. Give them some space. Now, looks like the way this girl's built is she's got a little bit of a tum, then fairly hourglassy figure. So let's make the bottom soft as well as a little curve there. Now, I kind of want to draw her with a dewlap, which is what they call this like extra fold of skin that rabbits have. A dewlap kind of have it look like a scarf, almost like a big fluffy scarf. Okay, this little like pocket of fur. It's called a dewlap in bunnies. So however, taking advantage of nature's inbuilt soft scarf. I am not doing this face justice, am I? No, you're not. Not right now, because the brain is not functional. Unfunctional brains is bad. Very heart shape. Yeah, I liked the game. It was very cute. Little wear cleaner. Yeah, you should play it. It's fun. It's quick. It's fun. It's not like... It's challenging, but not too challenging, you know? Which is just about right. Maybe not that curved. Yeah, more like this. That doesn't portray the emotion I was going for. Let's adjust. Adjust. Okay. I kind of want her to be like cozy. Yeah, that's working better. Like, not bedroom eyes, but just sort of cozy eyes. Like partially falling asleep. Almost. Let's... I want like a little bit of an open mouth. Yeah. Oops. Let's put the rest of this head in. Maybe adjust this cheek a bit because it's in the wrong spot. Nope. Okay, this whole head is not working how it should. Why? Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. His face is fighting me. Fighting me, fighting me. Let's focus on something else then. Like putting in some shoulders and arms. I don't want to do a very nice, like, cozy fall sweater. You know what? Let's do one of those ones with a boob window. Because it's cute. And gives some more room to, like, add more fluff. So, like, here's a little bit of fluff spilling over through the boob window. Then add some texture lines because we want this to be a chunky sweater. Cute, chunky. Chunky but curve hugging, you know? Texture, texture, texture. You can use the texture to show sort of where the curves of the body are. And then yeah, let's make this window maybe a bit more designed. Maybe a skirt? A skirt with some leggings. I'm like, I kind of want to do some leggings and then like chunky socks. Chunky sweater socks. Texture. I should do a little pom-pom on the thing because it's cute. Let's add a couple of wrinkles in this skirt to show what it is. Add a couple of little lines to this side as well, so that you can tell she's wearing leggings and is not just leaving it bare under there. Because that is, it's cute, but it's also cold. We want to give her some leggings, keep her warm from the cold. And then I think I'm gonna steal the hand pose from like right here and just put that up by her face, or else sort of that hand pose. That pose from a different direction. Yeah. Then let's draw in the detail. We definitely want to show off that nice ribbed. We want this texture in here. Make that a little smoother. Now to see if I can tackle this face and hair. I should probably bring her onto the other layer as well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're bummed. But yeah, you're bringing good vibes. It's useful. It's very nice to have somebody who's here and shouting me on from the sidelines. Let's start with positioning the ears. Maybe that'll help. getting where I'll get in the face. I'm liking that face better. Then got sort of an anime setup with the hair. I'm trying to parse. Start with this big ass ponytail. Since that at least is very drastic. And then seems like there's 2 sets of floofy front bangs. One middle and 2 more on the other side. Okay. And then this goes back here, and this goes down into that sort of a shape, I think. That then continues or that away with like 1 or 2 face framing pieces. And some appropriately balance out that floof over here. I like it. I'm pretty happy with that. I can definitely work with that in the cleaning stage. I'm gonna add some detail to remember that there's different colored hair swooshies. All right. Let me just go ahead and put Major Mooch's name on it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, wait. 1 sec. Remember some speckles. Because otherwise I will forget. And I am very prone to it, so add them speckles. Alright. Went ahead and done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. Let me just scooch out. Double check. In case we have any late joiners or submitters. And spin. We just had 5, didn't we? Or was that 15? Let me scooch back. Yep, 5 was Kuji. So let's roll again. We already had 14 too. Ah. Alright, number 3. Looks like number 3 is our winner. And it looks like Corey. Corey Volp, you're here. Maybe a big idea. Alright, so it looks like you want Corey turning into an anthro snake with each leg becoming a tail. Okay. Then, this is your regular ref. Yep. The base Corey form. And then, let's see. Alright. Very snaky. We want each... And you said you wanted each leg becoming a tail, so kind of like a two-tailed mermaid. Almost, but snake. This is what I'm talking about. Sort of like this, but snake. Yee? We'll start there. Awesome. I think I'm gonna scooch the mooch up here so that I have more room to work down here. I think what would be a fun way to do this is sort of have... Alright. I'm envisioning Corey sort of slumped against a wall as their legs become too wobbly to really function. Like, you know. Here's... It will become more apparent in a sec what I'm trying to do. And then so here's an arm. Here's the rest of the body. Got one leg that's still got the knee setup going on. And then it's getting wobbles. And then this other leg back here, straighter. And then I think we can sort of do that. And have it be going noodly. I think I made the head a bit out of proportion, but it's in the right space, so let me just adjust that. Control T. Yeah, there we go. Then let's put one snake limb over the other snake limb. I imagine things are getting kind of wiggly having your legs become snakes. And I want this limb, sort of want to do like a figure 8 out here. Since I know there's lots of fun bends. This is not a very good image, but it's a beginning. It is a beginning. Maybe I have this one just sort of less caterpillar-y and more extended. Okay. Turn the opacity down. And let's put our, I'm gonna scooch it up so we don't accidentally run out of space to draw. Pull up our Corey ref. And start with the face. Oh, whoops, wrong. Okay. Make sure I'm on the right layer. Let's rotate things a bit. The length, let me see how that looks. Let me see how the neck lengthening works. I think it'd look weird if I put a human head on it. Maybe? Yeah. Might be able to get away with it. Can I go with some, like, maybe some Cobra hoodiness? What do you think, Corey? That's sort of have the head sort of be half naked? Or do you want your human face? Okay, we'll go with half naked. Oh, not a fan of the hood. Okay. I can remove the hood then. I just thought it looked better with the hood. But if you don't like it, that's all good. Let's see if I can rotate this a bit so I can work on the face from the right angle. Let's add a snicky nose going on. Definitely get a shocked expression there. Maybe a touch of a tongue forking. I need to put it in the mouth. Edit, redo. Yeah. Let's put it in the mouth. Rather than outside the mouth. And some of that going on, as well as get that neck. And then let's rotate again to make sure that the hair is drooping naturally. And maybe make this all a touch smaller. And more in proportion. Get the hair sort of, it'd be flopping over to one, flopping over there, as well as the bangs. Some scoots going on, which is what they call the scales that move snakes along. that neck lengthening happening. And a little bit of fluff right there to sort of delineate where some of the hair would be fallen. And then, oops, down one notch. Let's get the neck of this jacket up here. And then have it sort of falling around. Add this arm back in. I think this is a bit too long, maybe. Huh. Yeah, it's a bit too long, but we'll work on it in post. Let's add some wrinkles for the shorts. Add some shading here in the back. Now we want to make sure this delineates as a human knee. Let's rotate a bit. We want it to be a little bit structured and then get unstructured. Gonna be doing a lot of turning here just because in order to get like bends and snake bends that look realistic, you want to be able to follow the curve with your hand good. So, any of you who are a bit sensitive to direction, sorry. Here's another knee. Then let's have this guy overlap this guy. Rotate. Okay, how does this keep getting to like the bottom of the screen? One sec. Let me just scooch it up a bit. And of course, the other fun bit is trying to remember where to add the belly. Okay, so we got one belly. Add the curves in here. And let's get this leg. Sort of make sure it's twisting around. Nice and proper. All piled up on itself. Reverse. Let's rotate again, reset view. Add a couple of scales to delineate the way things are moving. Twist Make sure things are functional-ish. Gonna add more scales. Hello, baby cat. You coming to visit? Good to see you too. Got my cat Stoffels coming to say hi. Just checking in on the group chat. All right. This is not a great tail, but I'm gonna fix it in post. I think that's the motto of the stream. I'm gonna fix it in post. All right. What do you think? What do you think, Corey? Does that look cool? Okay, hold on. Hold on one sec. I've got one idea that'll make it look a lot more fun. It's a snake on a boot. A boot and a snake. I figure I'll put one of your shoes still stuck here. I think that'd be fun. One shoe survive. Okay. Take a look at where we're at. It is 7:41. So this next one will probably be the last for the night. And I might not finish it all the way because again, got about 20 minutes in these. Generally, I'm pacing it, generally looks about generally end up at being like 30-ish minutes per drawing, which is not bad. Not bad at all. So, I'll get as much done as I can, and then call it on time. Call it on the time, on the dot. All right, number 8. I don't remember if we did number 8 or not, but we'll double check. Yep, we did number 8. It was Major Mooch. So spin again. 9. And looks like 9 is Scuzz. Awesome. Anthrhydration post TFTG with my friend Ro, and I merged into one based largely on the ref posted below. Half cut, curly long hair. Huh. Okay, let me... This might end up not being something I can quite do in the last 20 minutes. But let me just see what I can work with. Okay, so we got Scuzz. Alright. There's row. Hair riff. I'm just worried that I won't be able to, like, okay, get it all done completely. For an and this is the anthrohydration. Okay. Okay, so this will definitely not be something I'll be able to finish here in the time limit, but I'm gonna give it a start. Alright. Pulling this sort of, putting up the hydration ref. Save everything. Let's start with a basic body shape going on. It's probably up the opacity for folks. There we go. Imagine sort of like, yeah, like I said, a little bit confused. Like one head looking this way, one head looking down at the body, and sort of a main head going on. The tail curling up and around. Just gonna block in some of the basic forms here. Make it a little bit smaller so I can fit everything on the canvas. I've got about 10 minutes to work with. So let's see what we can get. What do Hydration's feet look like? They're just kind of floaty, so we'll go with human feet. Or human-y feet with some claws. Some claws. Because they've got just sort of like party balloon almost. I'm not sure if they're feet or if they're just like sort of skin flaps, you know? So. Sort of go with an in-between. Maybe I want some more sort of crocodile feety. Oh, sorry to hear your sister was upset. She all good? Ah. Well, hopefully she's alright. Like I was saying, I'm probably not going to be able to finish much with this because we're running close on time. So getting the basic sort of form in is my main goal here. Then head. I imagine this regular head would also be kind of like, what the heck's going on here? I'm going to put one arm sort of more down. That way it reads better that you're looking up. There we go. Do. Yeah, maybe a bit lower for composition. Was it last one? Are you talking about Corey's or about this one that I'm currently working on? Then let's get these winger thingies in here. Make that all a bit bigger. Whoop. So I have more room to draw. Without bumping into anybody. Right now we're doing a... Oh. So we're going till 8, which is in about 6 minutes. Last thing I did was for Cory Volp, and it was a snake anthro with with like double snake bits. And then right now I'm working on something here, a hydrogen fusion, anthro hydrogen fusion, which will be interesting once I can, and I'll probably have to finish off stream. Yep, I'm definitely gonna need to. Once I get done, I'm gonna get some food and take myself a nice cozy bath. Get comfy. That is the plan. After all this, is get comfy. There's them wings in here. I think that's a good pose. I think I did this side a little too big though. So let me just adjust that. Honestly, I think I did them a little too big and a little too out to the side. Like, I think they kind of need to be more like that, yeah. That reads as them coming out of the back better. Anyway. Now to unmessify stuff. Here we go. All right. Let's make sure this arm reads as an actual arm. And then we're at about 3 minutes out. I think that's a good stopping place for right now until I can really start pushing it, so I can really start pushing the detail and actually get it where it's supposed to be. But, yeah. Glad to see y'all. Thanks for coming. Hope you have a very good night. I'm ready to go take a bath and relax. Gonna save everything, make sure we're all good to go, and I shall hopefully have this up on Friday. Don't hold me to that because I might have a busy work night, but that's my plan, is to get it all done up on get it all inked and stuff on Thursday night. All right, well. It might be fun to do a Halloween idea for the for next stream or for the next Nat 20s. I will see you guys later. Night, bye.